Well, we've spoken about diamonds a lot, but let's talk about gold now. And we saw the prices doing its best since 2010 and 2024 with almost 27% of gains in dollar terms. And the way rupee has been depreciating, we perhaps have better returns for the Indian investors here. But who better than ask on what is expected for 2025 than Sachin Jain? He's MD World Gold Council here in India. Sachin, hi. Wishing you a very happy 2025. What would you say on how the year is started for you? I mean, IGS clearly has had footfalls like always, but what is the trend that it's showing to you?
Thanks, Manisha. Thanks for getting me on. Wish you a very happy new year and may this one be as magical as 24. That's I can say being from the gold. And you're right, spot on. What I see the energy here is a clear reflection of how 2024 has been what we call is the golden year in the gold business. It's been pretty strong. And I think it gets us to a perfect sort of starting point where people are buoyant, they're energetic, the strength and the confidence on gold is strong. And with what's happening in the world, we think it might not be as sort of buoyant as 24, but it's going to be stable to strong is what we are envisaging.
So what is the sense as we went in the previous year? How much imports do you think we would have totaled for 2024?
Well, Manisha, if you go back when you and I last spoke, our projection still was between 700 to 800 tons of consumption and import. And we believe we'll still be in that facet of the consumption, which is a great sign of the economic progress of our country because we maintain that volume at, as you said, 27% higher the cost. So that's one part. Also, the other change that's happened is that with the change of custom duty, the numbers reflect the real consumption. And I think that's a great step for the nation. That's a great step for what gold really contributes to the economic fulcrum of India. And as this sets out in 2025, we're pretty confident of gold playing out as an investment product. The jewelry is great, and I can tell you when you go around the show, the innovation, the confidence in which people have been creating is great. And we will be doing as World Gold Council also a lot of initiatives that will be out in the market soon to bring back the life and the emotional connect of a consumer and our product.
So, there's a lot of conversation about as the budget nears on, while 9% was done, is there a review? Are we staying on that course? Will we see further cuts or is gold not going to be spoken about?
Well, our belief is that the step that the government of India took was, in my belief and our belief as World Gold Council, was a start of a long-term plan. I think they took the first step. And I think, if you look at just the direction of travel has been extremely positive to a transparent economy, to a strong India. And I don't think government will do anything against that.
So there's no review happening?
I believe not, and I believe that the step was not just a step to strengthen the gold market, it was a step to strengthen India. And I don't see that getting reversed for sure.
Also, there's a lot of conversation about bullion getting hallmarked as well. I mean, we've seen ministers talk about that. We've seen BIS talk about on their preparing on that side as well.
Well, I think Manisha, from our perspective as World Gold Council, transparency at any stage is good for the consumer. Consumer mean whether you're a manufacturer, so you're a consumer to a bullion guy, or you're a consumer. And I think as more we get transparent, this is going to become a way of how we operate. And also the self-regulatory organization that is going to be underway called the IGS. I think it's a direction of travel where, look at last year, we had 19 IPOs in the gold business. They're more getting ready for this year. And if you combine that together, transparency is a way of life. Transparency will be beneficial for the industry and for individuals. So I think if the government is alluding towards that, I think the end goal will be good, which is that when you put your finger on it, when you have something there which comes with more confidence, it's great for everybody.
As World Gold Council, is there any representation that you have made to the Finance Minister for budget?
Well, we've been talking on various facets of things that can help us improvise and get better. And I'm amazed to see the kind of support, the kind of interactions we've had. Particularly, I'll give you one example on digital gold, which is growing as a subject. It's easy as a product, but it's not regulated. And the fact is that we recently, on the sort of guidance of the Ministry of Commerce and Finance, we got a bit of consumer survey where actually more than 52% consumers believed that this is a regulated product. And hence, there'll be a lot of representations in that area, and we think it's a very important step that we as a country need to move towards, because younger consumers spend most of their wake-up time on the phone, and if consumption is happening through the phone, we need to make that world safe. So that's one of the examples, but there are various other ones that we've been talking to and working with the government on. And the most important one that we're working on and we initiated work is, we started a project called Swarn Udan 2047, which is to align the role of gold in the Vision 2047 of the government. So what is the role of gold in 2047? We're trying to bring together the best thinkers of the world to put together, if that's the role of gold, what is it that the industry should be ready in 2040, 2035 and today? So that's the work happening.
How are you looking at 2025 panning out in sense of demand? Because we did see investment buying. The global central bank buying was a big support to the gold price rise. ETF buying has started to pick up as well. What theme, what role do you see playing out for this year?
Well, let's break it down to India and global. So I'll talk about India first. So if you look at India, the investment borrowing coin demand is something that we've seen over 40% increase quarter by quarter. And I foresee that the interest on investment product of gold will continue. And that'll be a combination of physical gold plus ETF. So I think ETF is here. It's still very nascent product. And we believe that the highest growth we'll see this year will be on the ETF side because the numbers from a demat account perspective are growing up, how the banks and the providers are sort of pushing that area, and I think it's a very easy product to grow. That's one. I think in the jewelry space of it, where we saw first 2 quarters a bit of decline, then quarter 3 went up, quarter 4 we'll have the results now, which I'm pretty positive will be decent. I think jewelry, there'll be still a lot of innovation required to be done. Okay. So if we maintain it, prices of gold are very different than what they were from before, and that'll be one area that will sort of either sustain or slightly degrow is what I foresee.
All right, so 19 IPOs in previous year and more coming up in 2025 when it comes to jewelry as a sector. Well, that's the headline that I'll take from this one. Sachin, thank you as always for joining in and helping us take out on what really to watch out for in 2025 when it comes to gold and jewelry. But with that, that's all the time that we have on Commodity Champions. Thank you for watching.